I like what's happening in El Salvador. How about you?
Yeah. I mean, I think I like it.
Nayib Bukele.
I just want to make sure we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Imprisoning all of the gang,
MS-13.
the gang members. And Bukele, I think we talked about it before, but he told this story in an interview saying when he became the president in 2019, I want to say, he sat down with his cabinet, all of them believers, and said before we move forward, we're going to pray and we're going to ask God what to do with our nation. And so they pray,
I did not know that.
they hear from God, and then they institute a plan. They create a plan to make El Salvador, which at the time was, if not the most dangerous country in the world, one of the most dangerous countries in the world. And in I think it was less than 5 years later, it is the safest country in the world. So
I think that's based on murder rate, I think is what you're talking about.
Yeah, you can check the stats. But yeah, super dangerous to super safe. And there was a video that just got posted, and just so everybody knows, it's AI translated. So when he's giving this speech, the mouth, you can tell like the animation of the mouth is different because it's in English. He was giving it in Spanish. But it shows images of what El Salvador used to look like in the streets to how it's been transformed now. And I was just inspired by this. And again, it stems back to that initial interview of like, dude, we prayed and asked the Lord how to solve these problems and how to make El Salvador great and safe.
So the numbers that I'm seeing here, in 2015, it spiked around 105 to 116 per 1,000 people died of homicide. Then it started.
I mean, that's horrible.
Yeah, I would say. And then it was declining, leading up to him becoming president, but still was bad. And it was down to 18, and now since he took office in 2022, it's down to 1 to 2.
1 to 2 out of every 1,000?
Every 100,000.
Every 100,000.
So there, in a 10-year spanning his before his term to his term in 2022 to now, it has gone from 105 to 116 down to 1 to 2.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So clearly, El Salvador is cleaning up the streets.
Yeah, I think from the outside looking in, not knowing much of the story, there are also videos of these high security prisons that look pretty intimidating. But his point is these are the worst of the worst in the world, and many of them demon possessed and pure evil. They sacrifice children, they murder people, like horrible. And they shave their head and they put them in these prisons. But they also have they have a work program where they can, some of these good, what would you call them? Prisoners that are on good standing or that are participating, a way to give them some level of purpose in producing things for the country. So this video is not about the prisons. It's just about some of these snapshots of what the country used to look like. And so if you're watching on YouTube, you can see these and what they look like now. So we can check it out.
It says showcasing the transformation of the country under his leadership. And there's a street.
I mean, couldn't look.
Yeah, their streets are like better. Totally different.
It goes from looking slummish.
Right, it's like little tin sheds to more developed bike paths, Yeah.
It literally looks like one of the nicest cities you could go to.
Yeah, I mean, I think
that's it, Emmy.
It feels like, I mean, again, gentrification is maybe the wrong word, but it's like a super sped up version of that. But you go from a very poor country to like a European nation that is very wealthy. It seems that way. Now, how do you do that? Obviously, there's people that are maybe critical of like, it's too fast, it's too hard, you know. I wonder if we're so used to like, oh, you can't make change quick. You
Yeah,
know?
I literally think when I look at America, and we obviously get to travel, been to many different cities around the country. Many of them are in disrepair and have huge homeless problems and huge drug problems and fentanyl zombies and trash everywhere. And you know, you look at this and it's like, what I'm saying is there's many other examples of what communism did to cities back in the day, removing all of the color, removing all of the life, removing all of what seems healthy to something super brutal, no windows, total block, total concrete. And what I'm saying is there's also a type of leadership that can do this to a city, you know? And I would love to hear from somebody, what are the downsides to what has happened in El Salvador?
Well, I think the things that I've seen and read, and again, I don't know specifically. Obviously, people from that country would be able to communicate. At least if you believe the comments that these people are where they say they are, it's hard to know who's bots or not. But a lot of comments are saying, "No, this is amazing. It's been incredible. I feel so much safer. I love traveling there now. You know, it's awesome." And I think Bukele, he would say, there's still a lot to get through. Like he's probably starting in a place. You know, they also have leaned into Bitcoin heavily, and there's been times where that's been really beneficial to them, and other times where it's been a struggle. But some would say that he's maybe had some more dictatorship tendencies in the sense of like, I'm, you know, centralized power. What I'm curious on that though is that, I mean, I think his popularity is, you know, like 92% or 93% is what I looked up. But when you go to these countries where there are communist dictators, like, yeah, my popularity is 92, 93%. So are we seeing an example of, because we're so used to, well, that's what a dictator does, but can a good leader actually benefit its people? You know, and so I think it's hard for me to know because, but that's hard to push against. When you see something like that on the president's post and you see all these comments that are positive, that are thank you, that it's, I feel so much safer, I feel better. It's like, no, it's a psyop. Those people are all bots and it's not real. And he's actually imprisoning people. It's like, it would have to be very crazy for that to be the case.
No, I agree. I think one thing that you're pointing out is when you're an elected leader, and again, I don't know what type of democracy they have, but when you are the leader of a country, there are a lot of I think there are a lot of passive leaders or leaders that don't come with solutions. And it's mostly about how do I get elected for another term, or how do I get my party in for the next 4 years to keep doing what we're doing. So we take these bribes or allow this fraud, or, you know, the stuff that we're dealing with in America. But the question is, how far appropriately does a leader's power go? You know, aren't they in a position of power? Aren't they in a position to make decisions? And so I know every government is different. Every nation is different. But it's a lot like, you know, we have a president now in Trump that he's like, I'm making decisions. I'm doing things that I was elected to do, things that I said I would do, and some of it I said I would do even before I ran for president. Some of it I said in the 80s. You know, this was all public of like what I'm about, and I was elected to do this, and so I think I think it's cheap shots when it's like you're coming at an elected leader and they're like, I told everybody this is what we were going to do. Now, if they're doing it illegally, that I can understand. Obviously, there's a big No Kings protest and all this that just happened here in Minnesota.
I thought I saw your name on the speaker list.
Dude, that's the first cheap shot joke that you've brought at me in a long time, and I actually appreciate it.
I'm glad.
I was not at the protest.
I thought it was during our Easter egg hunt, but I did think about going. I mean, I could have made it. I thought about going and actually going there and talking to people and saying, I agree, no kings except for Jesus.
Yeah.